diaspora, abroad and at home. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story, highlighting the positive role of the Jamaican diaspora. Sides of the story.
We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story.
Time now for Both Sides of the Story on Power 106 FM. We will not take sides, but we listen to your side. Join us as we explore the issues, present the facts, speak with the experts, and as always, listen to both sides. What's your story? Tell us on Both Sides of the Story. 922-4112, 922-4113, 922-4114, and 922-4115. You can listen to Both Sides of the Story on the Gleaner's website, www.go-jamaica.com, on your mobile phones at tunein.com or nobex.com, or by dialing 832-551-5045 or 213-493-0133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145, and in Germany, 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106@live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. When care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is queer, with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a fellow turns about when he might have won had he stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Often, the goal is nearer than it seems to a faint and faltering man. Often the struggler has given up when he might have captured the victor's cup, and he learned too late, when the night came down, how close he was to the golden crown. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint in the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It might be near when it seems afar. So stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things seem the worst that you must not quit.
Find my way over. Wandering I am lost as I travel along wide cliffs of Dover. Many rivers to cross, and it's only my will cause of my pride. But I loneliness won't leave me alone. It's such a drag to be on your own. My woman left and she didn't say why. Well, I guess I have to cry. Many rivers to cross, but just where to begin? I'll take your time. Every time I find myself thinking of committing some dreadful crime. Yes, I got many ways to go, but I can't seem to find my way. Wandering alone.
2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It's the 12th day of the 7th month of 2021, the International Year of Peace and Trust, the International Year of Creative Economy for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Fruits and Vegetables, the International Year for the Elimination of Child Labor, and the International Year of Health and Care Workers. Put another way, it's the 12th day of the 2nd month of the 2021 Atlantic hurricane season. And Jamaica's Weather Service is reporting that there's a high-pressure ridge across the Gulf of Mexico. There's also a tropical wave across the central Caribbean, and a tropical wave is expected to move across Jamaica this afternoon, lingering into tomorrow, Tuesday. Windy conditions are expected to persist due to the presence of the low-level jet stream. And as we've shared with you before, a low-level jet stream is a narrow band of fast-flowing winds in the lower level of the atmosphere. So it has to be felt at that level and is usually felt. This afternoon will become cloudy with showers and thunderstorms across sections of most parishes. And it will also be windy with lingering showers, mainly across eastern parishes. Es aniversario Puerto Maldonado en Peru, Battle of Boyne or Orange Men's Day in Canada, Ireland, and the UK. Independence Day in Kiribati and Sao Tome and Principe. Micronesian Day in Micronesia and Petrodan in Serbia and Bosnia-Herzegovina. It's Malala Day. Hoy es lunes, el 12 de julio 2021. Y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est lundi le 12 juillet 2021 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez, que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue!
But just where to begin? I'll take your time.
In case you're wondering, all we're saying is it's Monday, the 12th of July, 2021, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
Many rivers to cross. But
Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you would have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We thank you if you have logged on to the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Subscribers to onespotmedia.com also have access to Both Sides of the Story in particular and Power 106 FM in general. If you're in the United States of America and you'd like to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, that number is 631-359-8281. 631-359-8281. Those in the United Kingdom who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM are free to call 0330-606-0953. 0330-606-0953. And we're all over social media. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page and affiliated pages. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you'll be able to see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. If you don't have a Facebook account, no sweat. There's always YouTube, and you don't need an account to access YouTube. Just type YouTube in the search box of any browser, and the YouTube website will come up. And if you do that now, you should see this video trending. If you're not seeing it, then in the YouTube search box, type DERVAN MALCOLM, and you will be able to watch Both Sides of the Story here on Power 106 FM. What's on your mind this afternoon? Always anxious to talk with you and to reason and to pontificate and to ruminate and to elaborate. Shall we go on? You get the picture. We will say some more after the break.
way over. Wandering
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
Hello, Jamaica. I am Death. Thanks for your awesome work cutting lives short and making my job so much easier. Drivers, please continue speeding. transporting your kids without child seats, and driving without seatbelts. You've exceeded my expectations and my quota. Ward off death. Obey the road code. A message from the Road Safety Unit.
Who says an excellent medical education has to be expensive?
The Caribbean School of Medical Sciences Jamaica offers quality medical training through our affordable pre-med and MD programs. Our aim is to develop a quality workforce of professionals. We offer excellent facilities, experienced lecturers, and hands-on learning. Plus, scholarships are now available. Secure the career of your dreams by applying today. Visit our office on 15 Braemar Avenue, Kingston 10, or send us an email at info@csmsj.edu.jm.
Many rivers to cross, but just where to begin? I'll take your time. Every time.
We started out this afternoon with an anonymous piece, Don't Quit. That's how we started this afternoon. And we paired Don't You Quit, to be precise, an inspirational poem that remains anonymous, Don't You Quit. And we paired that with the ageless, timeless, soulful, compassionate sound of the legendary Jimmy Cliff, the Honorable James Chambers. Many rivers to cross. And it feels like we've been crossing many rivers over the last 15 months or more, doesn't it? Yeah, feels like we've been crossing many rivers. And every time we cross a river, there's another one. And there's one in spate, another one overflowing its banks, another one dries up again, another one fills up another time. You get the picture. Many, many rivers to cross. Only those who understand it can cross it. To borrow some words from Cliff Twang, we have paraphrased those words along the lines of only those, well, I usually tell students, only those who understand it can pass it. Only those who understand it can pass it. Right, you get the picture. So let's do what we have to do to keep on moving, because we know that a body in motion stays in motion, and a body at rest stays at rest. Let's make the most of the little we have, and that includes sharing from the little that we have. Welcome to those who are messaging us already, like Neriga Smart Morgan 7 out of St. Thomas. She says, blessings to you, Mr. Malcolm, and to all listeners. Narvi Nichols and I were talking about you 2 days ago, and he says your levels of history big like outer door. And I just said yes and smiled. And he said to big up Miss Gloria Brown as well. He says you both are teachers. You're very kind. We have no doubt Attorney at Law Gloria Brown is listening and accepting your compliment with a smile. Sophia Nemard, good afternoon to you. Thanks for joining us. Quincy Brown, are you in Jamaica now or still? No, he's in Grand Cayman, he says. Good afternoon. Greetings from Grand Cayman, says Quincy Brown. Working to bring the recent spate of gun violence to an end. Gun violence in Grand Cayman, Quincy Brown? I'm nervous to ask who is involved, lest you tell us what we dread hearing. Neriga Smart Morgan 7 says, oh yes, James Chambers, I dropped a little tear while listening to this song now. Help me, O Most High, to cross all these rivers. Yes, we need all the help we can get. Nariga Smart Morgan 7. Dunbar Smith says, good afternoon. Blessing to you too. I beg your pardon, not Dunbar. Dunmarie Smith. Good afternoon. Blessings to you too. Ranny Bell in St. Thomas. Good to have you on board. Welcome, Ranny Bell. Junior Jabari says, good afternoon, Dervan. Another week on the rock. This weekend was a lot. No, wasn't it? Goodness. Sports, local and international affairs, a lot happened. I love these kinds of weekends. Everything happening. We had the Copa America. That was won by Argentina. Finally, Messi won. Never mind Messi. Anyway, and we had the Europa 2021, and that went on forever. That match, England versus Italy. Oh, the Italians. They were so. I was just trying to remember some Italian words to translate all of that, but they really fought hard. And well, England, they were a little light in the beginning. When I say light, just appearing to be quite easy and comfortable. And you can become that complacent when you score in the first 2 minutes of a game. It's easy to become, Alty Hilton, don't know if he's listening now, but he always, and he's a big football fan, he always says he doesn't like when his team, or any team for that matter, when a team scores, but in particular his team, he gets worried when his team scores early because it's so easy to become complacent. And there was a bit of hooliganism on the part of the English. Oh dear. We normally don't associate hooliganism with the English, do we? Of course. No, except if you're talking football, because it's not the first time. A bit of hooliganism there. If you thought Jamaicans were the only ones who kicked down barriers or used their collective energy to flatten barriers, to get into a stadium, think again. Now, we're not condoning it. We're just saying that was most unbecoming of the English. But again, it invariably happens when it comes to football. So no surprises there. Surprise, surprise, the West Indies are at it again. And we don't mean flopping. We don't want to talk too soon, and we're knocking on wood, and I'm talking about the West Indies men now. Oh, let's get an update on the women. How are the women doing? They're playing right now. They're playing Pakistan, and the women have been consistent. So it seems the West Indies men are learning from the women. The Pakistan, let's give you the score. So the West Indies women, this is a 50-over match now, one-day international. West Indies versus the women of the West Indies versus the women of Pakistan. The Pakistani women scored, they were bowled out for 182. They were bowled out for 182. West Indies women in reply, in over number 31, the West Indies women are 134 for 1. 134 for 1. These West Indies women have been in form. I don't want to jinx them by saying too much. Hayley Matthews, she's quite a champion. She's the captain of the West Indies women. She has so far scored 80 runs off 98 balls, including 11 fours. 11 fours, 44, taking us back to the timetable. 2 ones, 2, 2 twos, 4, 2. You remember those days? Yeah. Hayley Matthews, now 81, not out. Brittany Cooper is 30, not out. But hold on. If they're batting like this, and let's see, Stephanie Taylor hasn't even been to the crease yet. Let me see. Is she in? Hold on. Wait a minute there. No, I'm not seeing her. What did I miss? We'll check on that. Is it that she's not playing? Or I'm not seeing properly? We'll double check that. But for what it's worth, the West Indies women are 135-1 in over number 31, replying to the Pakistani women's team's 182 all out. Now to the men. They beat South Africa. Not South Africa, I beg your pardon, Australia. They had beaten South Africa soundly in the first ODI, and we thought, yes, they beat them by 8 wickets. And then they went back to their old ways. And the information coming out of the team then, or a couple of matches afterwards, was that Phil Simmons, the West Indies men's cricket coach, was telling his team they have to learn to play smarter. I mean, what took you so long, Phil Simmons? That's what it is about. It's about smart play, and it all starts in the mind. Everything starts up here in the mind. And anyway, let's congratulate the West Indies. So far, they have 5 matches against Australia. They won the first. They won the first match. What am I looking at here? No, I'm mixing up the games. Hold on. First, those were the T20s against Australia, right? So they beat Australia in the first T20. They beat them handsomely. Australia, West Indies scored 196 for 4. Australia were bowled out for 140. That was the second T20. In the first T20, West Indies scored 145 for 6, which was below the par score. That was below the par score for that venue in at Grosselet in St. Lucia. Grosselet, Gros, one word, Ile, Islet. That's French, and like Gros Michel, Grosmichel, big, and it essentially means big islet, and so that was how it went. So the third of 5 matches will be played this evening at 6:30 Jamaica time. You don't want to miss that. It's been very intriguing so far, and we hope they don't. Let's just hope the momentum continues. And so that's taking place this evening at 6:30. If the West Indies men win this evening's game at 6:30, they would have effectively won the series, although with 2 games remaining. So let's see how that goes. How did we get there again? Oh, Junior Jabari raised the subject of a busy weekend of sports and international affairs. Because yesterday I passed by the embassy, the Cuban embassy, and there was a group of protesters across the road from the embassy. This was minutes to 6 o'clock, minutes before the curfew. They were out there demonstrating, and they were leading. A similar demonstration was being led in Cuba as well, one of the largest, we are told in the reports. And they're a combination of factors, economic issues. They are unhappy with the economic situation there, and the old unease with the political system as well. We'll see how that plays out. After the break, it will be time for Land Solutions.
Many rivers to cross.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. The National Irrigation Commission Limited NIC is reminding the public that bathing, swimming, washing of clothes and motor vehicles is prohibited at their canals, dams and reservoirs. In fact, trespassing on the irrigation infrastructure is punishable by law under the Irrigation Act. A message from the National Irrigation Commission Limited. Irrigation, making the difference in agriculture.
Hey, you see these days, it's good to get straight to the point. Quick and easy. That's why Western Union gives you another way to receive money straight to your bank account with Western Union's direct-to-bank money transfer. Visit a Western Union agent location and sign up now and tell your family and friends to send your next Western Union money transfer directly to your bank account in Jamaica. It's easy. Visit a Western Union location or call our call center at 876-926-2454. Sign up today to receive a money transfer directly to your bank account with ease with Western Union. Moving money for better.
It's a Monday afternoon, just after 2:30, and that means time for Land Solutions. This is the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Maybe you've always heard talk about a particular element, aspect, component of land matters that you're not clear on. You need to get something cleared up. Something has been brought to your attention. You haven't a clue. You need some advice as to how you can proceed. Any question at all to do with land. And we know we have land troubles in this country like trouble. You get the picture? Yes. And that's where the program comes in. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land. Any questions, anything you need clarified. Here are the numbers to call. 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, and 876-922-4114. There's a text line which doubles as a WhatsApp number for Land Solutions. And for today, that number is 876-881-5254. That's the text or WhatsApp line for Land Solutions, text and WhatsApp line, 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com, landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja, facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the JN building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. They encourage you to call before turning up, although on a Thursday, you can always expect to have either Attorney at Law Gloria Brown or Attorney at Law Calicia Findley on a Thursday at the Ocho Rios office. It's still important to call because you don't want to turn up at the office and then you realize, oh, I don't have this document or that paper or this letter, and you have to go back home. That would be a waste of time. So always call ahead. Call the law firm Brown, Findley and Company at 876-908-1950. That's 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. 876-908-3518. In a moment, let's say good afternoon and welcome to Attorney at Law, Calicia Findley.
Thank you, Dervan. Good afternoon, and I hope all is well. Good afternoon, listeners. I hope everyone is keeping safe. And the messages have already started pouring in, so I will get straight to it. Again, to continue sending your messages, these are text messages or WhatsApp. The number is 876-881-5254. The first message: how do I cancel a sale agreement and get back my money? You will have to come up with a reason why you want to cancel the sale agreement. You can't just say, well, you know what, I'm changing my mind. I'm not interested in this land anymore. And even if you have a valid reason, you may not be able to get your money back if as a purchaser you cancel your sale agreement. So generally speaking, the law says if as a purchaser you cancel the sale agreement, the vendor is entitled to keep your deposit. And the law says your deposit cannot be more, what is considered your deposit cannot be more than 10% of the purchase price. So if you're purchasing property for 10 million, it would be 10% of that. So even if you pay down 20% or 50%, they can't keep more than 10% of the sale price. Now, in some instances, a vendor may be generous. You know, the purchaser could say, you know, I'm no longer interested, I changed my mind, or for whatever reason, and they give you back all your money. But they don't have to. If you're in a position because you want to cancel, let us say the timeline for completion has passed. Let's say the contract said 90 days, and it's now been 6 months, well beyond the 3-month period. Then as the purchaser, that would give you justification to cancel. And if you choose to cancel because the vendor is unable to complete, then you are entitled to have your deposit returned. However, as I said before, if it's because you're just not interested, let's say you're not able to find the balance, you don't qualify for a mortgage, then you may lose your deposit. So be very careful. And again, let me just say this. I can't stress this enough. For those people interested in purchasing property, especially when you're getting a mortgage, ensure you know how much you are entitled to borrow before you start purchasing. Because the worst position you can be in is to be in a sale agreement, you paid your deposit, and in the middle of the transaction, something has happened, you realize you won't be able to finalize. So please do your due diligence. Someone wants to know, can I rent a part of my house? Can I rent a part of my house, for example, a room? I need some extra money. Yes, certainly you can. In the same way that you could have rented your entire house, you can rent a section of it. Of course, you have to be careful. It's one thing to rent an entire property, or let's say you have a back flat or an apartment on your property that's a separate, that is self-contained, you know, meaning it has a separate entrance. It's another thing to rent a room in your house to someone, especially if you don't know the person. So you have to be careful, you know. In times like this, we can't be too careful, but it is certainly possible to rent a section of your property, and it goes without saying, it is still advisable to get a lease agreement or rental agreement. We use the terms rent and lease interchangeably, and it would make specific reference to the section of the house that is being rented or that is being leased. And this actually just, something has come to mind. Yes, you can rent yes, you can rent a section of your property. We often get asked whether someone can sell a piece of property, or people will come into us and say, I want to sell a piece of my property, or they'll come into us after they have quote unquote sold a piece of their property. People believe that once you sell, let us say you have a 5-acre property, and you get a survey, you get it surveyed, and you've surveyed different parcels of it. People believe that once you have the survey diagram showing the different parcels, that means the land has been automatically cut up, or to use the legal term, people believe that the land has been automatically subdivided. A survey diagram does not cut up the property. The diagram literally is a diagram. It shows the different sections, the different sizes of the different parcels of land. So yes, you need a survey diagram when you're going to be cutting up your property, but that's the first step. After you have the diagram and the plans, then you make an application to the parish council for subdivision approval. So you can't just sell a piece of land with a diagram. You have to get the official subdivision approval, which takes about 18 months to 2 years. And then after you have that subdivision approval, then we, the attorneys, apply for the different titles for the individual lots for you. And we find that many people run into problems when they claim to have sold a piece of land without getting the necessary approvals, because a purchaser will go and pay money over to them, but they're unable to give them a title in their name. Why? Because you don't have subdivision approval. So please ensure you follow the appropriate steps. What are the fees involved in selling land? Okay. When you are selling land, the fees can range from about 6 to 10% of the sale price. 10% if the seller is using a real estate agent, and real estate agents usually charge between 3 and 5%. There's transfer tax of 2%, legal fees of, about 2 to 3%. And then the other miscellaneous fees, registration fee, 0.25%, cost of the sale agreement, stamp duty, which is a flat fee. So overall, about 6 to 10%. And as a purchaser doesn't have transfer tax. So purchasers usually, they can budget for about 4 to 5%, or maybe about 4% when they are purchasing property. Again, transfer tax is 2%, and that is paid solely by the seller. Many purchasers believe that they need to pay the transfer tax. No, that's not correct. It's the seller who pays the transfer tax. Purchasers also need to be reminded that when you are buying property, especially when you're getting a mortgage, you have to pay attention to your mortgage company's closing costs. You have what we call the commitment fee. That's the cost to process your loan. And that is usually a percentage of your loan amount. You have stamp duty on your mortgage, but again, that's a flat fee. You have to pay for your surveyor's identification report and your valuation report. So factor in all those costs. So it takes us back to getting your pre-approval or your pre-qualification when you're a purchaser before you actually start the actual process of buying property. Because there are what we call quote-unquote hidden fees. But if you get your pre-approval, you will know exactly what everything is, so nothing will be hidden. See it too often, and people will come to me and say, I want to purchase property, I'm going through the NHD, and I don't entertain them until I see their qualification letter, because I cannot afford for you to be in a position where you've started a purchase and then you're unable to finish. So bear in mind all these costs, please. Again, our numbers to call in live on air, 876-922-41124, and our text line, 876-881-5254. There's a message coming in on our Facebook page, and that is facebook.com/landsolutions. Let me just see if I can. Okay. I bought a house and the seller didn't pay up the light bill. Can I sue them? No, you wouldn't be successful. When you're selling property, the law says the seller has to ensure that property taxes and water rates are up to date, not electricity. So the JPS, the electricity provider, should go ahead and give you a contract in your name, even if there is electricity, even if there's a bill outstanding. What the electricity company should do is go after the previous person on the account. So by law, you really shouldn't have to pay up that sum. But I know in some instances, the electricity company is pushing back. So when persons go there to take out a new contract with them, they're telling them, no, we're not giving you a supply in your name because of this outstanding amount. But that is actually incorrect. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
Who says an excellent medical education has to be expensive?
The Caribbean School of Medical Sciences Jamaica offers quality medical training through our affordable pre-med and MD programs. Our aim is to develop a quality workforce of professionals. We offer excellent facilities, experienced lecturers, and hands-on learning. Plus, scholarships are now available. Secure the career of your dreams by applying today. Visit our office on 15 Braemar Avenue, Kingston 10, or send us an email at info@csmsj.edu.jm.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114. The Land Solutions text line is also the WhatsApp number, 876-881-5254, 876-881-5254. The website is landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the JN Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. They encourage you to call ahead before turning up at the offices of Brown, Findlay and Company. The numbers to call: 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Here once again is attorney at law Calicia Findlay. We have a call for you, Calicia.
Thank you, Dervan. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Calicia.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, are you hearing me?
You are very low, but go ahead. Let me see if I can try to hear you.
Okay, let me change my position and see if you will hear me better.
Sure. For those of you listening who wish to call in live on air, the numbers are 876-922-411224. Yes, go ahead, please, sir.
Yes. I seem to be in a bit of a pickle.
Yes.
My mother died about 7 years ago, and I was told by my sister that my mother made a will, and she is the sole executor.
Okay.
Now it's three of us. Myself and the brother who is deceased, and now my sister just passed.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm now getting ready to for probation, to have that will probated.
Yes.
And only this morning, someone else called me. It's one of my mother's adopted daughter called me. She lives in the States, and said that she also has a will. She has a will.
Okay.
And she is the sole executor on that will. Now,
do you know the dates? Do you know the dates on the will?
What I was about to say.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't ask her the date on it. She said that the will was stored away someplace, and she was in her office.
And you found it.
Couldn't get off the will.
Well, that would be the starting point, to see the dates on the will, because it's the latter will,
mm-hmm.
the one that was done last. That would be the one that's valid.
Well, this is why I say I'm being placed in a pickle.
Yes.
Because I don't know. I don't know exactly when my mother made that first will.
I understand, but that's where you need to start. You need to have a further discussion with her to get a copy of the will, see it for yourself, and to see the date.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
And obviously, if I get a copy of that will, it will tell me that was the last will
Yes.
my mother made.
Yes.
And that is the one that would suffice.
Yes. If that is the latter one, yes.
Okay. And I don't know if this lady is telling the truth or not.
I appreciate that, and I can understand that. So, which is why you definitely need a copy of the will, and you can make an assessment of the signature if you need to bring in a handwriting expert. But you at least need a copy of the will first to start there.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, fine. I appreciate your.
Sure, you're very welcome. Once you get a copy of it, please feel free to touch base with us again.
Yes.
All right. Take care, and thanks for listening.
So, as regards to the probation of the
just
will
hold off a
little
bit.
7 years ago.
Hold on a little bit until you see this other will.
And then okay, when I would have received that, I would have to come and talk to you guys.
Yes.
Maybe in person.
Let's examine both of them together.
Yeah, but I wasn't given a copy of the first will, so I don't know what's in that.
But you just said earlier that you were about to start probating it. How are you going to be probating it without it? You can't probate a will without the will.
Well, that's the thing. I wasn't given a copy of the first will.
No, man, you're not in a position to probate anything then. All right, I'm going to have the producer take your number, and I'm going to give you a call tomorrow to get some more information from you.
Certainly.
All right, thanks again, and you take care.
Okay, ma'am.
Again, our numbers to call in live on air, 876-922-4112-4. Text and WhatsApp line, 876-881-5254. For those of you who may wish to call the law offices of Brown, Finlay and Company directly, our numbers are 876-908-1950 and 876-908-3518. Over to our WhatsApp line. Can a JP keep your will? Yes, a JP can keep your will. It doesn't have to be a JP, though. It can be any responsible person, any person you trust. So if you have a JP who you trust, and you really should be able to trust all your JPs, then certainly they can keep your will. If you're doing your will on your own, remember, a JP does not have to witness your will. Your witnesses can be any persons over 18 who are not beneficiaries or who are not spouses of the beneficiaries. If you are in any doubt at all, go to an attorney when you're making your will and have the attorney prepare the will for you. I have willed my house to my brother and he has started building on it. What happens if I change my mind? A will comes into effect after someone dies. So you really should not have allowed your brother to start building on the property. And I understand this is family. We want to be generous to family. And many people, I find, still believe that once a will is in existence, once they know that something has been willed to them, they believe that even though the person is still alive, they believe that ownership automatically transfers to them. In a case like this, if you change your mind and you decide you want to will it to someone else, because your brother would have already started to build on the house, you would have to compensate him for the building he has put up. So let's say you want him off, you'd have to serve him with a notice if it is that he's not, just leaving like that. And I don't think many people would just leave a property if they have already started building. So you would have to compensate him for the house. If it is a separate property, perhaps he can buy it from you. If it's a portion of the property, perhaps you can look into subdivision and giving him his share. But it seems like you may be considering changing your mind altogether. So you need to let him stop what he's doing right now, because you don't want the building to go too far. Then you have to end up compensating him for $20 million structure as opposed to just the foundation. So again, wills only come into effect after the person dies. You don't become the owner as soon as the will is written. Someone wants to know the difference between a beneficiary and an executor. A beneficiary, and if you think about it, it's coming from the word benefit. A beneficiary benefits from the will, meaning they are getting something in the will. They're getting a gift. So if you say, I give and bequeath, or you don't even have to use any fancy words like that. You can say, I give my house to John Brown. That means John Brown is your beneficiary. He's getting something under the will or from the will. Your executor now, the executor is the person who you appoint to carry out your wishes. And more than carrying out your wishes, your executors take control of your estate. They have great responsibility. They are to protect all the assets of the estate, and they have the power to sell assets under the estate. So beneficiary is getting something under the will. Executor is the one who is controlling the assets and carrying out the wishes of the deceased person. An executor can be a beneficiary can be an executor. So you are willing your house to John Brown, and John Brown can also be your executor. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And in many cases, in most instances, we prefer that the beneficiary is also the executor. A beneficiary, however, cannot be a witness. An executor, if they are not a beneficiary, they can be a witness. And I know sometimes it can get confusing. So what we say to persons, especially when they're making their wills on their own, ensure your witnesses are not mentioned in the will any at all, just to avoid any confusion. So again, beneficiaries getting something under the will, executors are the ones who are meant to be carrying out the wishes of the deceased person. My wife wants to be joint tenants, but I want to be tenants in common. Is there a third option we can choose from? Maybe you can rent instead. I'm just being facetious, but no, there is no third option. There are two types of joint ownership. There's joint tenancy and tenancy in common. And many times people will call us and we ask them how they own the property with someone else, and they say they don't know. If you own property with someone, there's absolutely no reason why you should not know how you own the property. So if you own property with someone and you're not certain, go and look on your title now. If your title is with a loan institution, get a copy from the title office or from the loan institution itself, and look to see if you're a joint tenant or tenants in common. So this couple, the wife wants to be joint tenants, the husband wants to be tenants in common. And for those of you who may not be familiar, let me just say quickly, when you're a joint tenant, the survivor takes all, meaning if one person dies, everything goes to the survivor. When you're tenants in common, the survivor does not automatically take all. Under tenants in common, the deceased person's share goes according to what their will says. Or if they didn't leave a will, it goes according to what the law says. In this couple's case, if they are unable to decide, and this is what we advise clients generally, if there's any doubt as to whether you want to be joint tenants or tenants in common, choose tenancy in common. Because as I said before, with joint tenancy, the survivor gets everything. But if you're not certain that you want the other person to get everything, choose tenants in common, and you can always do your will and will your share to that person, or you can change your mind and will your share to anyone else. If there's any doubt, choose tenants in common. Many people also believe, and I'm up on the break shortly, many people also believe that once you're husband and wife, that you must be joint tenants. That is absolute rubbish. You're under no obligation to be joint tenants with your wife or your husband. You can be tenants in common. Not an issue at all. This is Land Solution.
The Time by Medical Disposables and Supplies Limited, an official distributor of 3M Healthcare Solutions, 83 Hagley Park Road, Kingston 10, is 3 p.m.
It's Monday afternoon, and for those who listen regularly, that on a Monday afternoon, starting at 3:30, we present to you Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, this is the place, this is the time, and we welcome your input. The numbers to call, 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922, well, let's leave it at those lines for the time being. 876-922-4112 to 4. The text line for Land Solutions is 876-881-5254. And that text line is also a WhatsApp number, 876-881-5254. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com, gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The website is landsolutionsja.com, landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the JN Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. They're encouraging everyone to call the offices of Brown, Findley and Company before turning up. The numbers to call, 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Once again, here's attorney at law, Calicia Findley, and we have another caller for you, Calicia.
Thank you, Dervan. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ms. Finley.
Hello, afternoon. How may I help you?
How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I want to ask you just something simple. This lady died about 6 years ago. I was her caregiver, and then after her death, everything was leaving to my hands. I do all maintenance of the property, pay all taxes, and what have you. Just a week ago, another person turned up that they are the son and asked me to sign over whatever to them.
How long ago did you say she died? 6 years? Hello?
Hello.
How long ago did you say that she died?
About 6 years now.
6.
Or 7 years.
Did she leave a will?
No.
What is he asking you to sign?
So, then went to some authority, and the authority told them that I have to sign over whatever position it is to them.
I'm not certain what you would be talking about. I can't see what they would have for you to sign. I would love to see what that is. But if she died 6 years ago...
I do all the collection of the rent.
I understand. And you've been collecting it for about 6 years since she died, right?
Beg pardon?
You said that you have been collecting it and taking care of the property for the past 6 years since she died.
Yes.
Okay. That would not be enough time for you to make a claim on the house. But that being said, don't sign off on anything anyone would present to you until you have had advice from a lawyer. So I would love for you to come into us to talk further. But again, I just want you to know, because she died 6 years ago, that doesn't give you any entitlement to claim anything. So I understand, yes, you've been paying the taxes, taking care of the property, collecting the rent.
I'm not really thinking of claiming anything.
Okay.
But this person just come and said they are the son.
Yeah, ma'am, I understand that. Just make sure you don't sign anything, and you either need to come into us or go to any other lawyer for some advice. And if you can get a copy of whatever he wants you to sign, take that in.
Well, he is saying that he is going to draft up some.
No problem. Let him draft whatever
and
he's
send it to me
drafting.
to
Listen,
sign.
listen
So I tell
carefully. Let
no,
him
not
draft whatever
like
he's
that.
drafting, and you take it, to a lawyer to have them look at it. All right?
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome, my dear. All the best.
Yes, thank you.
Continuing with our WhatsApp messages, is it true that you cannot put a child on a title? No, it's not true. You can put a child on a title. I'm sorry. You can put a child on a title, but it is not advisable. Because once you put a child, and the law recognizes anybody under the age of 18 as a child, meaning you're a minor. Once you put anyone under the age of 18 on a title, the titles office automatically puts a caveat on it, and a caveat in this case, acts as a block. So nothing can be done with the property until the child becomes 18. And in fact, if a child is put on a title, let's say they're put on the title in the 1970s, and now in 2021 they will probably be in their 50s. Even though you know that when they went on in the 70s they were a child, you know in 2021 they are well into adulthood. Even then, the titles office will still want to see their original birth certificate for their recording purposes. So, child can be put on a title, but if you do put a child on a title, titles office is going to put a block on the title until the child becomes 18. Putting a child on a title could also affect their ability to use their NHT benefits in the future. For those clients who absolutely want to put their children on their title, what we advise them to do is to do what we call a reservation clause. So what it essentially says is even though father and son are on title, father still has the power to deal with the title on his own. So it can be done that way. So yes, a child can go on a title, but it is advisable that they are not put on the title. And if they must go on the title, a reservation clause needs to be done. I can't find my will, and I think it may have been stolen. What should I do? Should I report it to the police? Well, if you think if you have actual evidence of theft, a break-in in your house, of course you should call the police. But if you suspect your will has been lost or stolen, or misplaced, just do another will. It is an easy document. You can come and go into any attorney to do your will. You can buy a will form in any bookstore or pharmacy. If you can't find your will, do another one. And also, if any material circumstances change on your will, do another one. Some people will do what we call a codicil, which is an addition to the will. But sometimes that can get a little complicated, and especially where you're not using an attorney to do your will, you may make mistakes. So again, just do a whole new will. Similarly, if you cannot find your title, if you suspect your title has been stolen, then you must get a police report. And also, if your title has been destroyed in a fire, you must get a report from the fire station, because the titles office will require those reports when we're making the lost title application. See the messages rolling in. Let me just see if I can get to them in the order that they come in. I collected the first and last month's rent from a tenant, but forgot to make them sign the rental agreement. Do I have a case if he leaves before the year is up? Do you have a case? Well, if the fact that you forgot to sign the rental agreement doesn't mean that you don't have a valid lease. We have a term in law that says an agreement for a lease is as good as a lease. So, of course, certainly it's always better to have it in writing. But in this case, since you forgot to have them sign the rental agreement, you can go ahead and do it. No, it can be done after the fact. If, for instance, there is a dispute and you need to go to court, you can still go to court without having a written agreement, because you can use the facts of the payment of the rent and you will have your monthly receipt as evidence of your rental. So where you don't have terms in writing, there are certain terms that are going to be implied by the law. So not having a lease in writing doesn't mean that you don't have a rental or a lease relationship with this person. But again, go ahead now, to avoid any confusion, go ahead and get a lease signed after the fact.
We have another caller for you, Calicia.
Thanks, Dervan. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. I think we may have lost that call.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Again, our numbers to call in live on air, 876-922-411-224. Our numbers to call the office of Brown, Finley and Company, 876-908-3518, 876-908-1950. To call us in the Ocho Rios office, where we'll be on Thursday. The number is 876-974-6083. If a house is left to 3 children and one doesn't want their share, can the other 2 buy him out? Yes, certainly. And it happens all the time. So, house left to 3 children, 2 want it, 1 doesn't. Those 2 can buy him out. So let us say the house is valued for $9 million. Each person's share will be valued at approximately $3 million. That's 3 times 3, 9. And in that case, they would buy out, the 2 would buy out that one person's share for $3 million. So yes, it most certainly can be done. If I lease my house to someone and they are away and they have left someone else, how can I get out that person? He wasn't supposed to sublet it. Go ahead and give that person a notice, regular notice to quit that you would have given your tenant. And why I say this, you see, in the past, or generally, if someone is occupying your property without your permission, you would think that, and it seems like common sense to me, you would think that, all right, you are here illegally. I just need you off my property. I've given you a day's notice. If that much, you need to leave. But what we have found is that when you go before a judge, the judge is invariably going to say, yes, this person may not have had your permission, but we don't know what other interests they may have. So to not run afoul of the law, you need to serve them with the usual notice to quit. So in your case, you would serve them 30 days notice. You would say that they're there illegally, you want the land for your own use, and you want them off. And do that, because once you get before the judge, then the judge can't say, well, you didn't serve them with a notice. And many people also believe that if it's a squatter and you serve them with a notice, that serving them with a notice somehow gives them some interest in the property. It absolutely does not. The notice just means you want them off the property.
Here's another one for you, Calicia.
Thanks, Dervan. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Ms. Felicia. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm good, thanks. How are you doing?
I am very well, thanks.
How may I help?
Okay. I have what is called a paid-up lease. That it was a sort of investment that I did like 20-odd years ago.
Yes, the line is a little. It's hard for me to hear, but I'm trying my best. You said that you have a paid-up lease.
Yeah. Okay.
For 20-odd years.
Can you hear me any better now?
A little. I don't think it's you, but go ahead.
All right. I have what is called a paid-up lease, which is 25 years ago. I did it. It's like an investment.
Yes.
In one of these properties, like a resort property.
Yes.
But you don't actually own this physical thing, but your name is on the thing, on the lease.
Yes.
All right. I had this jointly with my husband, and he died. Now, I didn't know that the law treated a lease the same way they do as an actual physical property that you own.
Oh yes, yes, ma'am. A lease is a registrable instrument. You can register a lease on a title.
Because what I understand now is they're going to charge me now for the value of that property, even though
I'm going to
I
just
can
ask
go
you.
there
I'm
and put a
so
key
sorry
in the
to cut
door
you,
or
but I'm
anything.
going to ask you to hold, please. This is Land Solutions.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
Your taxes hold the key.
Nobody come in line. Pay your taxes online.
So many options. You choose. Pay online at jamaicatax.gov.jm, TAJ mobile app, direct funds transfer, and NCB online banking.
It's safe, convenient, and secure.
Tax Administration Jamaica, changing the way we do business.
You asked, we listened. You said you wanted back the additional hour. Dear Pastor returns to its usual time from 10 p.m. until midnight.
Oh boy,
Your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters, questions you want answered, pertinent advice. It all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
Hello.
Hello, Pastor.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Where you may ask me a question, I may or may not answer.
He returns to keep your company from 10 p.m. until midnight, right here on Power 106 FM.
It's the final segment of today's edition of Land Solutions with attorney at law Calicia Findley. You still have a few minutes to get in those questions and seek clarification for your land-related matters, anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land. Let's help you in that respect. And the numbers once again, 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, and 876-922-4114. The text line for Land Solutions is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can send not just your text messages, but also your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes. And that number is 876-881-5254, 876-881-5254. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6, upstairs, the JN building in Ocho St. Anne. Usually either Calicia Findley or Gloria Brown would be on location on a Thursday, so you can prepare yourselves for that. But remember to call before turning up, just so you're able to properly prepare for whatever interventions you seek from the lawyers. The website is landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The numbers for the law firm Brown, Findley and Company are 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. For the final segment of today's edition of Land Solutions, here once again is attorney at law Calicia Findley.
Thank you, Dervan. Do we still have that caller? Hello.
Yes, I'm still on the line.
Thank you so much for holding. You may continue.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, that is better.
All right. So what I was trying to explain, it's a paid-up lease for a certain specific period of years. It was jointly owned. One partner is died, and now I want to take the name off. The thing is, they're now telling me that it has to be valued at full value as those who own it, freehold own, not a lease. And I'm just thinking that's awful, because then I will pay now in taxes what I never even earned on it.
I would value it. Well, to my mind, it would be the value of the lease, but in any event, it would be the half value.
Right.
since it's both of you and one is now deceased, it would be the half value of the lease. But perhaps you see what they are probably. How many years is it? Does the lease last?
It would have lasted for me for like 30 years, and we have already gone like a quarter, a half of it.
I suspect what they're doing, you see, is because it's a 30-year lease, the value of those 30 years is probably close to the value of the property. That may be what they're doing.
No, not at all. What I paid for it is like pennies compared to what they're now saying it's worth.
But in terms of when did your husband die?
He died 14 years ago.
14. They really should be using the value then, the half value 14 years ago. Yeah, it should be the half value 14 years ago.
Because what I'm considering, if it's a lease and I'm going to give it back to them anyway at the end of the 30 years, why would they value it for people who own it for the rest of their lives? Well, I mean, own it for perpetuity. They're valuing it based on that.
And I'm thinking that could be wrong. That could be wrong. I would need some more information from you, but I would think that it needs to be valued at the date of his death. Do you have an attorney representing you?
No, I actually spoke to the people who I got the lease from, and they're telling me that's how everybody does it, so you have to just go in.
It couldn't be the full market value, especially since he died 14 years ago. I would take issue with that.
Because if you have to give something back, it doesn't really belong to you, because all I get from it is a quarterly rent check, nothing else. I don't own the place, so I can't go in there and say, let me put furniture in this place or anything.
I understand. I'm going to have the producer take your number, and I'm going to give you a call because I would love to see a copy of the lease.
I would be happy to talk to you about it because it's under English law. I'm told that is supposed to govern these things, these types.
All right, just hold on a second, and the producer will take your number.
Thank you, and thank you for the work you're doing for all of us.
No problem. You're welcome. It's our pleasure.
A call for you, Felicia.
Thanks, Dervan. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How may I help?
Hi, you're doing a fantastic job, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
It's a quick question. I just heard your point about giving notice to squatters. I was wondering, could you just reiterate that point? I totally missed it.
Sure. What we find is that when we go before the judge and we say, listen, we want this person off, they're there without our permission, they're squatting, we find that the judges are saying, did you serve them with a notice? We said, no, we don't need to serve them with a notice because we didn't put them there. The judge is sending the landowners back to get a notice, serve it on them, wait on the time to expire, and then you go before the court. And I think why they adopt that position, you see, is out of an abundance of caution. Because one side might be saying, listen, this person is a squatter. I didn't put them there, but there could be a whole different side coming from the quote-unquote squatter. So to avoid any doubt, I think the better position may be just to go ahead and serve them with the notice as soon as the 30 days expire. Then you go before the court and say, Judge, here it is. I served them with this notice. It says they're there illegally. Please now give me a formal order for them to leave the property.
Brilliant. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for calling and thanks for listening.
Bye.
Again, our number.
We're not finished yet, Felicia.
No problem, Dervan. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Miss Cindy. How are you doing,
Hello.
man?
Afternoon. How may I help?
Yeah, man. I was listening to your answer on lady question a while ago. I think I'm in the similar solution.
Okay,
but
let me hear
I was
about it.
renting a property, and the guy collect the first month. He came saying the first month's rent and 1 month, one month security, whatever. And I look in the house say he was fixing up the house and all that stuff. But due to I had to leave where I was before, I said, okay, let me move in. But he gave me, he left a paper. He's gone back to England now. His brother saying now a lease agreement. But I said to the brothers, I can't sign this paper because that thing on the paper is not applicable to this house. So I didn't sign it, and he didn't bother to ask why I don't sign because I'm going back to England.
Yes.
Now the place don't have hot water, the windows them don't have no mesh, you never fix before him leave. So I planning to leave here before, but can he sue me for anything?
Have you told him that you are going to leave?
He's in England and him don't answer phone call, him don't answer email.
What
Him
about
just collect
what
my
about
2 months rent.
WhatsApp or courier? Let me tell you why. Generally, so the law says if a tenant leaves without giving notice to the landlord,
I will tell the brother, because he's the one that says the money. I'll tell the brother that I'm giving 30 days notice, but
yeah, I would make every effort to tell them that you're leaving, give them the 30-day notice, and then you can leave. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because he said he wasn't there to pick up the place before he leave, and I trust him, because I gave him the 2 months rent. But him gone back to England now, and he didn't even give me a receipt for my 2 months rent. To be honest, ma'am, and I think
have you found somewhere else already?
I'm looking somewhere else, ma'am. Because no water is here.
Yes. Well, I hope you find somewhere soon.
But and I didn't sign the paper.
I know, I heard that, but like I had said before, not signing it doesn't mean that there isn't a valid lease agreement, because money would have been collected and you would have taken up possession. So try and reach out to them, tell them you're leaving, tell them the reason why you're leaving, put it in writing that it is not fit for you to live in, it is not what you agreed to, and in the meantime, start looking for somewhere.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
You're welcome. Yeah, man. Thanks so much. Take care. My mother is blind and unable to make a will. How can I ensure her wishes will be carried out if she dies? Very first thing here, the fact that your mother is blind does not make her unable to make a will. Persons can have disabilities or they can be differently abled and still be able to make a will. So have your mother go to an attorney. If I have someone who is visually impaired, I will interview them, get their instructions, type it up, read it over to them, do a special clause in the will to say that the will was read over to them and that they understand what's in it. And that person can then mark an X or use their thumbprint. So being blind does not make you unable to make a will. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the Jamaica Society for the Blind can also assist with that in terms of Braille, but it can be done regularly. Like I said, it can be written up, typed up, read over to them, and have them signed. So please ensure your mother's wishes are properly and accurately recorded in a will. So take her to an attorney. I have been on my land for almost 30 years. I know that I have decided to survey it. My neighbor has objected. I think it's just pure bad mind. What can I do? Well, the law says once anyone objects to a survey, the surveyor has to stop. And usually once there's any contention over any surveys, the parties have to hash it out in court if they're not able to amicably resolve it. I'm not sure if you would have had a discussion with your neighbor to find out what his gross is. If not, you can try that. You can contact an attorney, have them communicate with your neighbor. But if anything remains unresolved, then a surveyor will not be able to go in. And I find, you see, sometimes some people, and I'm not saying this is the case, but some people, some neighbors just object to surveys being done for really no justifiable reason. And some people may think that this is their particular border, this is their line, when in fact it isn't. So if you're in a situation like this, if you are disagreeing with what a surveyor is saying, another possible option for resolution is to get your own surveyor, have both surveyors meet up together and have the professionals identify the boundaries. If you don't trust your neighbor's surveyor, get your own surveyor. But remember, as lay people, even as an attorney, I cannot look and say, yes, that is definitely the boundary. I leave that to the professionals. I leave that to the surveyor. So please, I hope you can resolve this. Speak with your neighbor. Tell your neighbor you could suggest getting. He could think about getting his own surveyor, so both your surveyors can discuss whatever possible issues there are. Thanks again so much for tuning in to another edition of Land Solutions. I see the messages coming in. Please keep them coming. I will respond as soon as possible. I've been your host for today, Calicia Finley. Thanks as always to Dervan Malcolm and Adrian Reed and the team of Power 106. Take care, everyone, and keep safe.
You contribute directly to Jamaica's national development when you pay your customs duties. Let's all do our part in keeping the wheels of our economy turning. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:30.
NIS pensioners, early encashment continues. Pension order vouchers with payable dates in July 2021 may be encashed as of July 1. Collect all your July payments at your convenience. Simply visit your designated post office. Please note, pension vouchers can only be encashed at post offices. A message from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security.
My way over. Wandering, I am lost.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, on the heels of today's edition of Land Solutions. Here are the numbers to call for both sides of the story. Same numbers, 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. Thanks to Junior Jabari once again for reminding us of how hectic the weekend was with all the sporting activities. And we didn't get around to mentioning as well the action at Wimbledon and the victory of Djokovic in the men's finals, men's singles final, which was quite pulsating. And congratulations to Novak Djokovic on his achievement. And well done to, what's his name? Berrettini. I believe that's his name. Well done. And all the very best. The US Open is up next. And let's see how that unfolds. In the meantime, let's clear the other messages that we are yet to read. Jacqueline Simmons says, good afternoon. Blessings to you too, Jacqueline Simmons. Audrey Smith in Southampton in England says, good afternoon, Dervan and listeners. What a match yesterday between England and Italy. It's a crying shame what happened before and after the match. Yeah. Always a shame when human beings behave like hooligans. Audrey Smith says, these football hooligans are a disgrace towards the 3 black players in the match. Despicable. As a mixed race person myself, I know how that feels. Only pray the players will get over their ordeal. Stay safe, everyone. Take care. Well, personally, I would not have had the youngsters taking the penalty, personally speaking. I thought as I saw the first of the two youngsters stepping forward, I thought, ooh, I know we have brilliant footballers at every level and at every age and stage, but I was just thinking, it's not the kind of job that you would want to give one who still has years of still is yet to accumulate some experience, especially at that level, and it can be quite nerve-wracking, and therefore the more experienced footballers, I would think, would be the ones, or footballers who would have demonstrated in their playing career so far whether they have a proclivity for scoring penalties, for effectively burying that ball in the back of the net. But having said that, it's football. It could happen to anybody at all. Even the greatest of how many great footballers have we seen missing a penalty? So there's nothing to be ashamed of. It's a part of the game. I mean, what do you expect? You expect the goalkeeper to just lay down and play dead? Absolutely not. The goalkeeper's goal, listen to this, the goalkeeper's goal is to stop you from getting a ball into that net. That's what the goalkeeper's role is. The goalkeeper's role is to stop the ball from getting into the goal. And so don't expect the goalkeeper to just say, all right, as we say in Jamaica, you see, I throw you, go on through, man, go on through. No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Come on, give the youngsters a break. But I'm just saying, I mean, just personally speaking, I would go for more experienced players to take the penalty. But it could happen to anybody, as we have seen. Some of the world's greatest footballers have missed penalties. We have seen it in basketball as well with the free throws. They miss all the time. So yeah, that's no reason to go taking a set on the youngsters. The coach made a decision, and had it come off, they would have said, boy, the England coach would be regarded as the greatest, because look at what he did. He demonstrated confidence and faith in these youngsters, and they rewarded his vote of confidence. It's sport. That's how it is. How many times do we have to say it? You win some, you lose some. It's the way it is. Velta Wilson says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and other listeners. Hope you're all having a great day. It's a great afternoon. Any day above ground is a great day, and we give thanks. Thank you, Velta Wilson in St. Thomas. Norman Hines is also in St. Thomas. He says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan, Malcolm, and listeners. Here listening straight out of St. Thomas. Good to have you on board, Norman Hines. Beverly, in replying to Quincy Brown, says that will be the day. I'm not sure what that is about. And you know what my late mother would say, cockroach, no business in a foul fight. And therefore I will extricate myself from that discussion or debate or whatever it is. Good afternoon, listening, says Beverly in Toronto, Canada. Paul in Philadelphia says, good afternoon, Dervan and all listeners. Good day to you, Paul. How are things in Philly? Sophia Nemard says, what's on my mind is, when are the PEP results coming out? The PEP results should be out. What did I hear? Is it, what date is today? Today is the 12th. I think I heard Dr. What did she say? She said, sure, it might possibly next week. Because she said they were trying their best to get the results out as quickly as possible, because that provides some space for certain actions once the results are publicized. So maybe at least another week, maybe in another week or so. I was just trying to tie it down. I'm trying to remember. I know there was an interview on that subject, and just not remembering now the precise answer to that question. But we'll see if the information. All right, let's do a quick. Let's do a quick search to see if there's any definitive information on that. Right, so there's a story here that's that was published. A story. It's taking a while. Loading. This was published. Oh no, this is dated. No, this is an old story that is outdated. No, not this. Let's try this one and see what the latest is. Right, Dr. Kassan Troop. Let's see. This was published on the 13th of June. The results for the grade 6 students who sat the primary exit profile examinations this year will be available before August. That was the word from Acting Chief Education Officer in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information, Dr. Kassan Troop, who was speaking at a virtual town hall meeting on vaccine sensitization for the education system. That was held on the 11th of June. So the hope is to get the results out there before August. So we're looking at another couple of weeks. Within the next 2 weeks, the PEP results should be out. And I have some interest in that, in just knowing how the children would have done. So let's see. We wish them well. No doubt they would have prepared, and those who listen to this program would know that proper preparation prevents poor performance. Hello to Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine. He says, big up to you, Sir D, and listeners. To you too. Jennifer Stewart from Q Road in Kencott, East Central, St. Andrew. Good to have you on board. Good afternoon to you, and we accept afternoon greetings on behalf of our listeners. Cherry Henry, good afternoon to you too. Again, on behalf of the listeners, we accept your afternoon greetings. Nicola in Mandeville, Manchester says, good afternoon to you too, Nicola. Ricardo says we want the Windies to whitewash Australia. And that's exactly what Vin said this morning. Good afternoon to you, Vin. Vincent, Mr. Vinny. Good afternoon. Same thing he said this morning. I might have used a different term. Did he say clean sweep? I don't remember, but same thing. D. Roach Williams says, good afternoon, Dervan from Florida. Enjoying your very informative program. Thank you, D. Roach Williams out of Florida. Good to have you on board. And who is this now? Sophia Nemart says, I'm trying my best to understand it so I can cross it and don't get left behind. And that's a take up of something we said earlier on. Ricardo in Glengoff, St. Catherine says the Reggae Boys have the potential to qualify for the World Cup. Well, we've been there before. There's nothing to stop us from getting there again. Stranger things have happened. Carol Boeth from Calgary, Alberta, Canada says, good afternoon, my beautiful people. This is what's on my mind. We have so many unsung heroes in Jamaica. My question, and we're watching the clock at the same time, Carol. Let's come back to your question after the break.
I've been licked, washed up for years.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
Become the hero on the scene by taking the COVID vaccine. Get vaccinated as soon as you get all the facts. Don't listen to the rumors. This vaccine might just make it possible for teachers to sit face to face with schoolers. This vaccine make it safer for everybody, from the young to the elderly. Don't you want to go back to living normally when things were more orderly? And if you want to live a long good life, then we all have to do what's right. So let's get vaccinated along with the heroes on the front line.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Oh yeah, this Fosca, made in Jamaica. Porridge, oats, oatmeal, cornmeal with banana.
Yo, proud of we culture, yes, we love Pasca. Whole heap of protein, good source of fiber.
Love my family, me love my Fosca. I feel we Fosca, I feel we Fosca. We love we Fosca, I feel we Fosca.
We have to prosper with our Pasca. Good for the sugar level and the blood pressure.
In Jamaica, we love with Fosca.
You asked, we listened. You said you wanted back the additional hour. Dear Pastor returns to its usual time from 10 p.m. until midnight.
Oh boy,
Your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters, questions you want answered, pertinent advice. It all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
Hello.
Hello, Pastor.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, you may ask me a question. I may or may not answer.
He returns to keep your company from 10 p.m. until midnight, right here on Power 106 FM.
As I travel along white cliffs of Dover.
Just before we take Carol's message in full, Carol in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, please allow us, Carol, to congratulate the West Indies women. They trounced their Pakistani counterparts by 8 wickets, and with 59 balls to spare, the Pakistan women scored 182. The West Indies women 182 all out. Pakistan women 182 all out. The West Indies women overhauled that score by notching up 183 for 2. 183 for 2 with 59 balls to spare. In other words, they won the match in the 41st over. In the 41st over. It's a one-day international. It's 50 overs. And they won with the, you would have to say, because it's in the 40.1 overs, so you would have to say with 10 overs to spare, quite frankly. And there was an even 100 for Haley Matthews, 100 not out from 121 balls, including 11 fours. Got good support from Brittany Cooper, who scored 45. Kishona Knight got 18, and Chedine Nation 13. I'm trying to figure out what happened. I'm sorry, did I miss a sportscast or something? I'm trying to figure out what happened to Stephanie Taylor. I'm sure I missed something in the news, sporting news, because she's not in the lineup. But I'm not seeing that story right now. That's the thing. Let's go to series. Pakistan women, West Indies women. Haley Matthews, let me see the story. Haley Matthews and Anissa Mohammed star as West Indies women go 2-0 up. Spinners dominate as Pakistan women collapse from 60 for 2 to 120 all out. No, that was a match on, that was Friday. That one was Friday. I was looking for today's match, the summary, the report on today's match. Not seeing that. No. Not seeing that, no. But congratulations to the West Indies women. Congratulations. Well done. Well done. The men will play this evening at 6:30, the third of 5 T20 internationals in Gros-Islet and that's St. Lucia. And if they win this evening, they win the series, even with two games remaining after this evening's game. The next two will be Wednesday and Friday evening at 6:30. Back to Carol. Carol from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. She says, "Good afternoon, my beautiful people. This is what's on my mind. We have so many unsung heroes in Jamaica. My question, why would they sign off for hashtag racist Gandhi statue to be unveiled at Maypen Library, Clarendon? Will someone please tell me what this disrespect is all about? Hashtag Gandhi must fall. Yes, it must, as in the statue itself." But people need to know. People need to know, Carol Boeth, if whatever, like any human being, quite frankly, we're all flawed, fundamentally so. We're fundamentally flawed. We have, we do conflicting things as well. It's a question of what do you do? What's the science that you use now to weigh the good and the bad, the good that an individual would have done compared to the bad? Do you play up the good and play down the bad, or vice versa, play up the bad, play down the good, or try to find some measuring stick, some yardstick to make a determination as to whether Gandhi gets over the line because he did more good than bad, or falls behind because he doesn't meet the criteria. And what are the criteria for one to have one statue etched and mounted on a plinth and all of these things? All right. Well, let's go to the story as to why Carol has taken the position that she has. I thought I had it here. Let's bring it up, because there is a Gandhi statue at the Kingston St. Andrew Parish Library, popularly known as Tom Redcombe Library. So here's a story by National Public Radio out of the United States, and this will perhaps give you an idea of why there's this controversy, if you haven't been made aware. All right, let's see if the technology is working with us this afternoon. The story is being... Oh dear, no. All right, we're trying to get that clip from the top to get an understanding of why Carol and others have taken the positions they have with respect to Gandhi. And let's see if this is a story.
Gandhi was born 150 years ago today.
All right, hold on. Come back here a moment. All right, here we go. Give a listen to this National Public Radio NPR story on Gandhi.
Mohandas Gandhi was born 150 years ago today. His civil disobedience campaign helped India free itself from British...
Just for the record, this was published in 2019. That's that published on the 2nd of October 2019. The 2nd of October 2019. Here we go. Oh, come on.
Mohandas Gandhi was born 150 years ago today. His civil disobedience campaign helped India free itself from British colonial rule, and civil rights leaders around the world ended up taking cues from Gandhi. But in 2019, some of his habits and his teachings are being scrutinized. NPR's Lauren Freyer has the story.
His mattress, his writing table, his footwear.
Usha Thakur runs a Gandhi museum in a Mumbai villa where the Mahatma, the great soul, stayed in the 1920s. Here is where he taught followers to spin their own fabric, and he launched Satyagraha, his movement for truth and nonviolent resistance. After Gandhi died and this house became a museum, it got a special visitor, Thakur recalls, a fellow freedom campaigner from the United States.
Martin Luther King was here, 1959. Of course, he was booked in a very good hotel, but he said, I'm not going anywhere else. I'm going to stay here.
To sleep here?
Yes, and they didn't know what to do.
Curators scrambled to haul 2 cots into Gandhi's bedroom for the civil rights leader and his wife, Coretta Scott King. Afterward, King announced he was adopting Gandhi's doctrine as his own.
Since being in India, I am more convinced than ever before that the method of nonviolent resistance is the most potent weapon available.
But now, 6 decades later, Black Africans are rejecting Gandhi.
A statue of Mahatma Gandhi has been removed from a university campus in Ghana.
Activists in Ghana and Malawi are angry about his early writings. In 1903, when Gandhi was in South Africa, he wrote that white people there should be the predominating race. He also said Black people are troublesome, very dirty, and live like animals.
Gandhi was a racist.
Ramachandra Guha is Gandhi's biographer.
He thought, as in his 20s, that Europeans were the most civilized, Indians were almost as civilized, and Africans were uncivilized. However, he outgrew his racism quite decisively, and for most of his life as a public figure, he was an anti-racist, talking for an end to discrimination of all kinds.
Including gender discrimination, Gandhi championed women in politics. But he was also obsessed with his own celibacy. In his late 70s, he slept naked with his grandniece when she was in her late teens. He said he wanted to test his willpower. Nowadays, we would call that abuse. Gandhi was all too human to be a saint, India's first prime minister famously said. But the Mahatma is treated as a saint here, as the father of the nation.
Oh, father of our nation, you made a sensation. When you got us independence without any violence.
9-year-olds recite Gandhi rhymes at a poetry slam in Mumbai. Gandhi's face is on Indian currency. His portrait hangs in government offices.
So you can see the footprints now. This is exactly the spot where he was assassinated.
The garden in New Delhi where Gandhi was shot dead in January 1948, just months after India's independence, is now a memorial. Shailaja Dulapalli gives tours.
When people come here, they get highly emotional. Some of them have tears in their eyes and go back with a very heavy heart.
The man who shot Gandhi was a follower of Hindutva, Hindu nationalism. He wanted India to be a Hindu country, says Yogesh Kamdar, whose parents were freedom fighters alongside Gandhi.
The Hindutva type of ideology considered him to be an enemy because he was talking of secularism and not of Hinduism.
Gandhi's vision won out and India became a secular country. But some Hindu nationalists still don't accept that. And some extremists actually celebrate Gandhi's murder. Members of a far-right Hindu group shot and burned Gandhi's effigy on his death anniversary this year. In May, a parliamentary candidate from Prime Minister Narendra Modi's mainstream party called Gandhi's assassin a patriot.
नाथूराम गौडसे देशभक्त थे, हैं और रहेंगे.
That shocked the country. Pragya Thakur was forced to apologize, but nevertheless won her election. She is an outlier, though. Most Indian politicians admire Gandhi. Kamdar, the son of Indian freedom fighters, says even those who don't still have to tread carefully.
Very grudgingly though, and maybe as a part of strategy.
Let's come back to that story in a moment from National Public Radio, which was published on the 2nd of October 2019, ahead of the 150th anniversary celebrations of the birth of Mohandas Gandhi.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
Under the law. Know your rights and how the laws of Jamaica can help you defend those rights. Under the law.
Brought to you today by the Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy.
Whether you're a small farmer, street vendor, big investor, every entrepreneur, got to wise up about your money. You have to make sure say your money secure. When you need to grow, you have access to more.
Financial inclusion means that individuals and businesses have access to useful and affordable financial products and services that meet their needs.
Access to more money, more credit, whatever your business is. When you work hard for your money must work for you.
Brother Smith, hope you're protecting yourself from COVID-19, you know.
I Miss Gloria, I play it safe. But things tight now, my little furniture business in a lockdown.
It tight all round.
But you look like you are doing all right. There is a full bag of groceries you have there, sir.
It's the little money me have in the bank, me I try stretch.
Oh, you're so lucky. Wish me did have a bank account.
How you not have no bank account, Mr. Smith?
The last time I tried open a bank account, them did want too much things. Me couldn't manage it.
A man like you have to have a bank account, Mr. Smith. And it's easier to open one now.
Why you say?
Banks have to be careful and protect themselves from money laundering, you know. Because we can't have no dirty money in the system. But me here say the law change so that banks can finally use simplified requirements to help open accounts once the bank satisfied that the person is a low risk for money laundering. A law-abiding businessman like you won't have no problem now.
And that's a fact. The law has changed to allow business in the regulated sector to apply simplified customer due diligence procedures where the entities determine that there is a low risk of money laundering associated with a potential transaction. A regulated entity must establish a risk profile concerning its business generally, and a risk profile regarding all its business relationships and one-off transactions with a view to determining the level of risk for each. Where a business relationship or one-off transaction is determined to be low risk, a business in the regulated sector may apply simplified due diligence procedures if certain conditions are met. Simplified due diligence procedures include requiring only one form of government-based identification from the applicant for business concerned, or accepting forms of identification other than government-issued identification. That's how it is under the law.
Brought to you today by the Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy.
Join us Mondays at 6:45 and 8:55 a.m. and at 4 at 9:55 p.m. on Power 106 FM for Under the Law.
Punky, this COVID mash up everything. Nothing now go on.
So what the government are going to really do for we? It's like everything a secret. We hear about COVID grant, this and that. But how much money them are going to spend on COVID, so?
The European Union is partnering with the government of Jamaica to provide better public access to information on how it collects and spends money. Visit the Ministry of Finance's website at mof.gov.jm for more information. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Finance and the European Union.
Travel along white cliffs of Dover, many rivers to cross,
Just before we go to a caller on the WhatsApp line, we have about a minute and a half or so left on this clip that we've been playing on the controversial Mahatma Gandhi. Now you would have heard me using both Mahatma and Mohandas going to the break. Mohandas is a name, so he's Mohandas Gandhi. Mahatma is a title. Mohandas, Mohandas, is the name, is his name. Mohandas Gandhi. Mahatma, Mahatma, is a title. Let's complete the story and then we go to the caller on the WhatsApp line. Oh, come now. Buffering. What's happening here? All right, that's taking a while. But you get the picture. I think you would have gotten it. You would have gotten it if you listened to that which we played. The system is not allowing us at the moment to pick up where we left off. So we'll have to continue and go straight to this call on WhatsApp. You may recall a gentleman telephoning us to say how disgusted he was with the pileup of garbage on the sidewalk of the Texaco service station in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. We did say we would see if we could get in touch with Norman Scott. We were unable to, and we did ask the caller to follow up today and tell us if the garbage was still there. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, Mr. Sam, good afternoon. Are you hearing me?
Lost a bit of what you said was muffled, but go ahead.
Okay, I was saying.
Uh-huh.
I was saying up till now they don't move it as yet, and I understood that because those two shops that burn out, they consider said the owner them supposed to get somebody to move it.
Oh. So they.
So.
Mm-hmm.
So otherwise, what I'm saying, the councillor is not doing a good job. For when rain fall in Spanish Town, you have to be standing and wait for the water run off. And right now, if you should travel through there and look, the amount of dirty water that's sickly in different area, and most it will get the Kobe from. It is nasty. The whole city there want to uplift. The whole place need to clean.
But surely,
so I don't know what the council.
Surely Norman Scott must know this. He is the mayor. I wonder. Surely it must have been brought to his attention. But we'll perhaps go ahead.
How long years now when it is like that? I mean, with the dirty water that's all about the culverts, them stopped. Those things need some new culvert from there to the main river or something like that, or dig some cesspool hole and send the water there. Spanish Town is a mess. If we say Spanish Town, he may not do nothing. Just sit in his office in AC.
Well, we don't know that that's all he's doing, and therefore we would like to think that Mayor Norman Scott is doing what he's supposed to be doing. Maybe based on what you have experienced, you don't think his leadership has been as effective as it needs to be in terms of bringing to bear the authority of and the resources of the municipality on situations like the one you have been sharing with us. Looks like we really need to get Norman Scott. Let's see if we can try again. We weren't able to over the weekend, but let's see if we can try again to find out whether it's a situation where more, I don't know, forensic work needs to be done in continuing the investigations into those fires, which would have left those structures the way and the situation the way it has been left. I don't know. That could be. Or is it just for the fact that since people owned those structures, then those people are expected to clean up all of that burnt out shell and take it from there. But surely the municipal corporation obviously has some authority in that respect, and on the face of it, it seems as if the authority needs to, the municipality needs to take some action, if even to insist that the owners of those structures move to clean them up.
Well, it need to be done, sir. It for the people, them have to walk in the road and not on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's definitely worth following up. I thought it was just a sign of the council being overwhelmed and trying its best to clean up the place. But so I thought your call today would have been to say that the garbage is gone. But now that we know that isn't the case, we'll definitely have to put in some extra muscles to make sure we get Norman Scott on this program.
Well, you get your team and travel through and see how Sunstone stay, mister. Trust me, for them say it's a town.
Yeah.
And see, it's... You have a wonderful day.
You
Take
too.
care.
All the best. Poor Spanish Town. Spanish Town got a head start in more ways than one in terms of its historic significance and the opportunities that come with that kind of history for socio-economic development. Clearly, between the decision makers and the people over the years, we haven't had the kind of groundswell to, first of all, recognize and appreciate the significant value intrinsic in Spanish Town and the possible twinning with places within Spain and other Spanish-speaking territories and getting tourists. I mean, we have Spanish hotels in Jamaica. That in and of itself, the Spanish Town should have been preserved and enhanced in such a way that it would have, the Spanish hotels would have perhaps in Jamaica would have perhaps made it mandatory or routine for their visitors to journey to Spanish Town. You could call it Old Jamaica, in a manner of speaking, maintaining the architectural integrity, all that would come with that in terms of souvenirs, in terms of perhaps a production, a theatrical production on this story of the Spanish in Jamaica and Spanish Town and Emancipation Square and all of these things. We just don't even know how wealthy we are. We are so rich. Was it former Prime Minister Bruce Golding who said, we are too rich to be so poor. We're too anointed to be so disappointed. Trying to remember, he was giving a speech, must have been on a political platform somewhere. But really, it's a shame. It is a shame what we have done or failed to do with respect to Spanish Town, the capital of the parish of St. Catherine. What a tragedy. Let's continue. How did we get there? Oh, the call. Let's go back to the messages. And so we have heard it's time already for break. Time is flying. Well, has it never? It's always flying. One moment, please.
And I merely survive.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
So, having read Carol's message on Facebook Live on Gandhi, we did play that clip for you, which would have contextualized the controversial nature of the man. So it is. Robledo Black Pearl Michelle says, good afternoon, Dervan, giving thanks. Good afternoon to you too, Robledo Black Pearl Michelle. Who is this? Carol again. Gandhi had such disdain for black people, viewed us as subhuman. How could Jamaica possibly unveil it and at a library in 2021? Well, as I said earlier on, I'm aware of a bust of Gandhi on a plinth or a pedestal at the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Library, popularly known as Tom Redcombe Library. It sounds now, seems now, as Carol is telling us, that that the same is to be done in, or is about to be done in Clarendon, and she is enraged. Quincy Brown says guns aren't made in the Cayman Islands. Ganja is illegal. Both enter. No weed, no vote. Honorable Elvis McKeever. Well, that's some local politics there that Quincy Brown is sharing with us. Loy Grant, Grace Asphal Emmett, Butler, Carvel Burrell being brought into this discussion. Faye Weller says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Let us give God thanks for another new week. Always, always, Faye Weller. Val Bullens says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. I'm listening from the Bahamas. Very good information. Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you very much, Val Bullens. Marva Williams Stewart, good afternoon to you too. Carol in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, says Gandhi statue should get no place on Jamaican soil. What do we tell our young children? That's easy, Carol. The truth. What do we tell our young children? The truth. They need to know the truth, the whole truth. Bob Marley said it in one of his songs, tell the children the truth. Tell them the truth. Anyway, Carol asks, what do we tell our young children with that statue placed at the library? Tell them the truth, Carol. Tell them the truth. What hypocrisy, she goes on. We fought in getting it dismantled. Yet the man who was instrumental in it is revered by our government, a man with such disdain for black people. How can Jamaica approve statue of racist on its soil? And at a library, he had such disdain for South Africa native Gandhi. He was instrumental with apartheid. Gandhi views on black people, he viewed black people as lazy savages who were barely human. Gandhi had no love for Africans. To him, Africans were no better than the untouchables of India, said a correspondent to this Citizen. That's a publication. Others are harsher, claiming the civil rights icon hated black people and ignored their suffering at the hands of colonial masters while championing the cause of Indians. Forced to share a cell with black people, he wrote, many of the native prisoners are only 1 degree removed from the animal and often created rows and fought among themselves. Have we stopped fighting amongst ourselves? He was quoted at a meeting in Bombay in 1896, saying that Europeans sought to degrade Indians to the level of the raw Kafir, whose occupation is hunting and whose sole ambition is to collect a certain number of cattle to buy a wife with, and then pass his life in indolence and nakedness. The Johannesburg Daily this day said G.B. Singh, the author of a critical book about Gandhi, had sifted through photos of Gandhi in South Africa and found not one black person in his vicinity. Hashtag Gandhi must fall, writes Carol from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Andrea Brown McNeish is greeting us. Good afternoon, Andrea Brown McNeish. Inez Campbell Brown in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Good to have you on board as usual. And was it last week? I was trying to remember the proper name for the hat worn by graduates who eventually become graduates. And thank you, Cliff Williams, for, based on your own personal experience, for sharing with us that it's called a mortar board. A mortar board. That's the MORTARBOARD. That's the correct name for the headgear, or the headgear worn by graduates who eventually become graduates. Right. It's a mortar board. MORTARBOARD. That's that's the mortar board hat, which is a symbol of graduation. Good. Thank you, Cliff Williams, for that one. Let's go to Louis Grant. I beg your pardon, not Louis, Loy Grant. I beg your pardon. It's Loy. Loy Grant says, is Dervan going to address this Gandhi issue? Well, we have. Sorry you missed it, Loy Grant. Carol in Calgary, Alberta, Canada says, hopefully so. I hope he gets someone from the appropriate ministry on air. Sounds like Carol is producing the program for us off air. Let's see. And Sophia Nemad. Oh, hold on. Let's scroll down. Right. Carol says Gandhi had such disdain for black people, viewed us. Didn't I read all of this already? I think I did, yes. Right. So let's come down to, we're just trying to clear the messages. Bear with us. Gandhi, I think we read this one as well. We just want to make sure we don't miss a message, because after all, you've taken your time to write to us. The least we can do is to acknowledge your message. Yes, we read that one. Oh, let's come now to Carol. Yes, we read that one too, Carol. Didn't the coach miss a penalty with Germany in 1996? I beg your pardon, 1996. Well, we made that point already, Carol. We did make that point. We hope you heard everything that we said. Anthony Sr. says hi. Hi, Anthony. Angela Forrest says good afternoon. And Carol Boyd says, no, Durban. We cannot continue to speak about Flo. The guy was instrumental in apartheid in South Africa. We should not continue to be so forgiving to these racists. But let's, well, you're free to take your position, Carol, by all means. March to India if you need to, and march to Jamaica, load up Jamaica in that respect. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Different people deal with things differently. We are not homogeneous people. We're not all the same. We don't think the same. We don't behave the same way. And it's just a general respect. My thing always is that I'm not going to allow. There's a saying that I coined. Do not allow anything or anyone to control you to the point where you lose control of yourself. Do not allow anything or anyone to control you to the point where you lose control of yourself. So let's be careful we don't become the people we despise, the people we condemn. Let's be careful that we don't become that way. In other words, let's be careful not to become a racist in how we respond to racism and racists. But you're free, Carol, by all means. Do what you must. She says we should not continue to be so forgiving to these racists. University of Ghana had that statue fall. Why should we, in 2021, unveil another? She says, Dervan, you know, re-reparation, a couple of my Jewish colleagues told me years ago, until Black people get one accord on it, they will never get it. And that we're too forgiving. Well, there's a lesson in there as well in terms of a general lack of unity, of purpose. That is clear. And I have no problems with forgiveness, quite frankly, because I learned a long time ago that the jailer and the jailed are both in jail. The jailer and the jailed are both in jail. So for me to have up an individual, in Jamaica we say you have up somebody, you carry belly for somebody, you have up, you well, you perhaps have never ever met and will never ever meet that person, but you're carrying this thing, this heavy load. I'm sorry, I'm not going to imprison myself in that way, quite frankly. Nothing is wrong with me. Something is wrong with the racist. Nothing is wrong with me. And I am not going to burden myself in that regard. Because what it would be a situation of the jailer and the jailed both being in jail. The jailed, in this case, we could say, is Mohandas Gandhi. That's the jailed, and the jailer would be me, putting him in a prison somewhere in my heart or in my energy. No, I don't want that energy. And I don't want that energy. I don't want that energy. I want the kind of energy that's going to get me to make the most of my life, whatever little time or how much time I have on the face of this earth, to make a difference. Right? I have no problems forgiving people. I'm not going to walk around with that. While these people might be running free and couldn't care less, or they're no longer around, and I'm walking around with them in my heart, not because it's a loved one. That's a different thing. But it's one who we despise. Where are we? Where's the rest of the message? Carol says, by the way, can you get someone in St. Anne's Bay to clean up garbage on Oakland Drive? There's an Oakland Drive in St. Anne's Bay. I didn't know that. I had to leave Canada to go there and clean it in 2013. It's piling up again, unsanitary. Yeah, that's another one for the another municipal corporation. So we need to get the mayor of Spanish Town and the mayor of St. Anne's Bay. All right, let's see what we can do. Hopefully for tomorrow, all things being well. All right, let me ask Siri to give me a reminder. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
You asked, we listened. You said you wanted back the additional hour. Dear Pastor returns to its usual time from 10 p.m. until midnight.
Oh boy,
Your thoughts on topical issues, relationship matters, questions you want answered, pertinent advice. It all comes together on Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas.
Hello.
Hello, Pastor.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question?
Well, you may ask me a question. I may or may not answer.
He returns to keep your company from 10 p.m. until midnight, right here on Power 106 FM.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5 menos 29. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5 heures moins 29. 现在几点了？5点加29分. 29 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. Have you done your homework yet? Yes, young people, we know you're on summer break, but you know how it is. We have some catching up to do because of learning loss due to COVID-19. Take full advantage of the summer classes, please. And we trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. Those of you sitting CSEC and CAPE exams, we hope you get the results that you work for. And we go a step further to tell you that you are a special group of students, super, super special, for what you have gone through to now be subjecting yourselves to end of year and life-determining exams. Well done. You have won even before sitting those exams. We wish you all the best. And you would have heard on this program, proper preparation prevents poor performance. We trust you would have long been practicing that, practicing proper preparation so that you can prevent poor performance in those exams. The same goes for the PEP students. You did your best. We're sure you did your best, and you got help and support from parents and guardians and naturally your teachers. And we trust that you too will get the results that you work for, and that in terms of placement in high school, we hope you will grow wherever you're planted, as the saying goes. How about that? Grow where you're planted. A lot of let me not start that discussion now. Let's wait for the results, right? And as we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable, education makes you trainable, training makes you employable, and the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. And parents and guardians, do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. Quincy Brown in Grand Cayman says, rest in peace, Valier Johnson, a.k.a. Maffey. Condolences to all those who loved you and all those who you loved. Jamaica mourns as a great entertainer has transitioned onto the other side. Prayers from the Cayman Islands, Quincy Brown, Cultural Tourism Ambassador. We join you, as we did on Saturday morning on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online, in paying tribute, extensively so, to the late Valier Maffey Johnson, otherwise known as Claffy. Dr. Dunn in Skokie, Illinois says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. Thank you for your kindness last Saturday. Blessings and gratitude. Anytime, Dr. Dunn. You know, one of the things we like to say, in all we do, the four legs we stand on, in all we do, to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. We're always ready to hear the story and to help to tell the story of our entrepreneurs, the collective story of our entrepreneurs. Claudia Gould Hadam says, happy Monday afternoon, Dervan, and to all watching you in Grand Cayman. Happy Monday to you too, Claudia Gould Hadam, and all those watching and listening in the Cayman Islands. Carol in Calgary, Alberta, Canada says, a racist is a racist, though, Dervan. That's what I said. A racist is a racist. I said, whoever the person is, something is wrong with that person. Nothing is wrong with me. So I'm not going to even give that person the time of day. Something is wrong with the racist. Nothing is wrong with me, right? She says, they're already controlling us, though. No, no, no. Oh, no, Carol. Nobody can control you in this day and age without your permission. I could understand if no. In this day and age of people power, no. Whether by fair or foul means, actions are going to be taken. We don't condone certain things, but the fact is, no. Nobody can control you without your permission. Not in this day. And somebody like you, Carol, an advocate like you, people controlling you? Really, Carol? No, sir. No, ma'am. Their condemnation still affect us to this day. Speak for yourself, Carol. I'm not walking around with that. I have never felt less than I am because of how I was brought up. I respect everybody. I call to everybody, morning, afternoon, evening, night, and I go about my business. But I'm not going to put myself in that situation, Carol. Condemnation affecting me to this day? Oh, no, Carol. No. Where's this song? Not song, this poem. I have a poem for you, Carol. Can you, and there's a song too. There's a song. All right, we're going to conclude this session, Carol, with a poem and a song. We're going to do that. We're setting that up right now, Carol. Hope you're listening. Setting that up right now, Carol. Right. So we're making sure we have the song lined up. And we are going to pull up this poem, especially for you, Carol. Especially for you. Stand by. Are you ready, Carol? It's a poem by William Ernest Henley. A poem by William Ernest Henley. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
The higher you build your barriers, the taller I become. The farther you take my rights away, the faster I will run. You can deny me, you can decide to turn your face away. No matter, 'cause there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. You thought that my pride was gone. Oh no, there's something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. The more you refuse to hear my voice, the louder I will sing. You hide behind walls of Jericho. Your lies will come tumbling. Deny my place in time. You squander wealth that's mine. My light will shine so brightly it will blind you. Because there's something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. Though you're doing me wrong, so wrong. Because that my pride was wrong. Oh no, there's something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. Brothers and sisters, when they insist we're just not good enough, well, we know better. Us look them in the eyes and say, we're gonna do it anyway. 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 Something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. But you're doing me wrong, so wrong. Because of my pride was gone. Oh no. Something inside so strong. Something inside so strong. I know that I can make it. But you're doing me wrong, so wrong. Because of my pride was gone. Oh no. Oh no. Something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong. Oh, something inside so strong.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
As I travel along white cliffs of Dover.
Que ahora es en español. Son las 5:15. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:15. 现在几点了？5点下15分。15 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned in to both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Carol Boyth in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Hope you enjoyed the Invictus, the poem, and the poem by Invictus, the poem by William Ernest Henley, and the song by Labby Seafray, Something Inside So Strong. And Carol goes on, Dervan, the jailer, gets to go home at the end of the day, though. But you get to go home too, Carol. Both the jailer and the jail. We're all going home at some point, wherever home ends up or turns out to be at some point, depending on our beliefs, etc. Carol says, to make the most of our lives, we must ensure we fix what's been taking place for the last 402 years. So, Carol, you expect in your lifetime to fix what happened over 400 years? No, Carol. Different generations at different times in our history would have played their part in chipping away. Change is never easy. Anywhere in the world, in any period, in any era. And over time, there's been that chipping away, chipping away, chipping away. So don't underestimate your role, but don't expect that everything will change to reflect your worldview and your outlook in your lifetime. That's not realistic, Carol. That's not realistic at all. And then you say, or those coming behind us will be faced with the same things. Well, there are a lot of things that different generations would have faced that our generation is no longer facing. And that's a story of life. That's a story of life. What we must ensure, Carol, like as Steve Green says in that song, one of my all-time favorites, what we must ensure is that those who come behind us find us faithful. Steve Green says, may all who come behind us find us faithful. The word faithful there is loaded. Loaded. May those who come behind us find us faithful. Thank you very much for your message. She says, nice hanging with you today, Dervan. Hashtag Gandhi must fall. And she says, Dervan, not affecting me or you directly. Just look at what's been taking place with our sisters and brothers in America. What else is new, Carol? We just have to keep chipping away. Sadly, it took the loss of George Floyd's life to ignite to ignite action that perhaps his children will, because of such action, his children and their children and the children of generations to come will not experience what George Floyd experienced. But again, these things take time. Sadly, when something is entrenched, just check out when construction workers, when builders are putting up buildings, they have to go down deep. There's a certain level they have to go down to dig that foundation. Now, when certain beliefs, positions, policies, actions are run that deep, it's going to take some doing to uproot that, Carol. It's going to take some doing. Angela Angela Forrest says, love the music. Only Jamaica should be on our soil, says Angela, or you mean Jamaicans. Replying to Carol, we must play our part, Dervan. Too many of us just do nothing. Well, there's a little song we used to sing at basic school, at Jeb Memorial Infant School on Spanish Town Road in Southwest St. Andrew. Let me see if I can remember it. Something about, oh gosh, but essentially saying, you in your small corner and I in mine. In other words, whatever our status in life, we can play our part for the greater good in the name of mankind, essentially. And she's having a running discussion now with Carol. Both is having a running conversation with Angela Forrest, is it? Or is it Angela? Well, must be Angela Forrest in this instance. Let's clear some messages on YouTube. Winston, or otherwise known as Errol in Maryland, says, good afternoon, Sir D. The ladies' wind is looking good. Just watching them. Yes, they've done well and they've won. Oh, and he's confirming that Stephanie Taylor is hurt. I figured as much. Jamaica men's soccer team playing tonight also. Oh, yes, that's the Gold Cup. Oh, my goodness. How will we get work done with all these distractions in terms of sports? Yeah, well, thanks for that reminder. I didn't realize, boy, time flies. Today is the 12th. Yes, the Reggae Boys are playing in the Gold Cup. Yes. Thanks for that reminder, Errol. Robert Gray, past student of St. Catherine High School, who now resides in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, says, good afternoon, Dervan. I completely missed Friday's news, and only today I learned that renowned Jamaican actor Vollier Johnson had passed. My sincere condolences to his loved ones, gone too soon. Thank you very much and we join you in conveying those sentiments. We did play our part on Saturday morning on the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online in paying tribute to the late Vollier Maffey Johnson. Rose in London says, Sir Dervan, blessings. I enjoyed the tennis immensely. I agree with you, the young footballers situation. And Robert says, looking forward to the Reggae Boys opening match in the CONCACAF Gold Cup tournament later. I need to check. What time is that match later? I need to make sure. Will it be going on at the same time as cricket? Might have to bring up the picture-in-picture feature, and yeah, that's, let's see, what time is that match this evening? Let's bring that up. Reggae Boys. Reggae Boys match. Gold Cup. Let's see. Oh, we're taking on, it will be, wait. Match. I need to just check to make sure that this is actually current. Yes, it appears so. Yeah. Today, so at 5:30 p.m., and that's Jamaica time. Oops. Need to wrap the program and go home now. At 5:30 this afternoon, so that's 1 hour before the West Indies take on Australia in what could be the decisive third T20 international, third of 5. Jamaica will play Suriname in the CONCACAF Gold Cup. Jamaica will play Suriname this afternoon at 5:30. Great. Thank you very much. And Rose in London says, wow, congratulations to the West Indies women's cricket team. Yes, and hopefully later we can say congrats to the Reggae Boys and congrats to West Indies. Or are we asking for too much? Let's see. Let's see. Where are we? Oh, wanted to leave something here from the archives with you. Before we go, do we have time? Quickly. Let's do this. We are at the 12th. And let's leave you with a couple of nuggets as we wrap. Let's see. We're a couple of days away from Bastille Day, 2 days away from Bastille Day, the anniversary of the storming of the Bastille prison and the start of the French Revolution. It all started at Café Fay when Camille Desmoulins made his stirring speech to a full house and the excited overflow crowd that stood outside. 2 days later, the Bastille fell, signaling the start of the French Revolution. This is what we're talking about, for better or for worse. It will always come back to the people. The people cannot escape their responsibility. And even if they ignore their responsibility or neglect their responsibility for some time, at some point, if not those same people, others will rise up in the name of humanity and equity. I used to know that in French. That's liberté, fraternité, liberté, fraternité. Oh gosh, sorry. I'll come back to that another time. The Caribbean man who became America's first Treasury Secretary, Alexander Hamilton, died on this day in 1804 after being shot in a duel with presidential candidate Aaron Burr the previous day. The great Alexander Hamilton was born in Nevis in the Twin Islands state of St. Kitts, Nevis. He was America's first Treasury Secretary. He established a lot of institutions in America as well. Another Caribbean man served as Secretary of the Treasury of the United States. That was Alexander J. Dallas. He served as Secretary of the Treasury of the United States as well. Jamaica's first free village, Sligoville, was officially opened on this day in 1840. Hello to the people of Sligoville. A ship with about 696 Chinese immigrants arrived in Jamaica on this day in 1884. For those who think the Chinese came here just the other day. And yeah, we'll have to leave it there. Sorry, we didn't have enough time to fit in all the other bits and pieces of information. But can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Monday, the 12th of July, 2021. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on. Nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's news at 5.